big things are happening here in the Quad Cities, quite literally. From multi-million-dollar bridges to downtown revitalization projects, it is happening all over. But what does it mean to you? Whether you're living here, investing here, or thinking about moving here, it's all important. So let's break it down. What are the big projects happening here in the Quad Cities? Let's start off in Bettendorf. Bettendorf is kind of a hub of new developments, but what are some of the biggest projects they got going on? The very first one that is being talked about right now is the Gateway Bridge. What is the Gateway Bridge? Well, if you're not familiar, North Bettendorf has a lot of development specifically around something called the Bettplex. And because of that Bettplex, things have been exploding around there. They have things on one side of Middle Road, on the other side, and even going to go into the other side of I-80. And because of that, they're worried about pedestrian traffic. So the project that they got going on is the Gateway Bridge. It's going to be going over the top of Middle Road so they can connect things like the Iron T to the Bettplex and so on and so forth, and do it in a safe manner. And I've talked to the mayor somewhat recently, and it's a big ordeal because the infrastructure needs to keep up with the development, and this is just the next biggest piece that goes into that whole scope and that whole development up there. So it's really cool that they are pushing that forward and that we will have a pedestrian bridge here in the near future. And if you want to check it out, there is a website that talks about the whole project as a whole, but Bettendorf is really kicking butt when it comes to all that new development and making sure the infrastructure matches what the development is happening up there. And speaking of the development happening up by the Bettplex, there's another huge one that is happening, and that is the announcement of 2 hospitals are getting built up there. If you're not familiar with the Quad Cities, there's really 2 hospital systems here in the Quad Cities. That's Mercy One Genesis, which actually is a new name. It used to be just Genesis and then Mercy One Bottom Out, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but that is what happened. And the second one is Trinity Unity Point, and both have decided to invest heavily in the Quad Cities, and they're both building hospitals up in the north area of Bettendorf. One is a little further along than the other, but both of them are getting built in. What does that mean? That means that both of these hospital systems think that the Quad Cities are a good investment, so they're putting their money where their mouth is and buying up land and putting nice facilities up there. So it's really awesome to see that. And it's really expanding the Quad Cities because where the current hospitals are, they're kind of in the center of town and nothing on the fringes. So this is actually going to put where the new development is happening with a brand new hospital. So really cool multi-million-dollar projects that are going to happen. And honestly, they're really close together. So they're both going to be happening at the same-ish time. So we're going to see a lot of that going on. Really cool projects. And again, in northern Bettendorf. So all good things happening up there. Now let's move on from Bettendorf. Obviously, Bettendorf has a lot of things going on from the north side to the downtown, but Davenport also has some developments going on. And the biggest one that is talked about right now is the Main Street Landing. What is the Main Street Landing? The Main Street Landing is a project going in down by the river, not actually technically on Main Street. I mean, Main Street does kind of end up there, but it's all along River Drive, kind of by the Bridge to Nowhere, the Sky Bridge, all along the area. And they are making a giant park. I think they have pickleball courts. I think they have a pedestrian bridge. Very similar, but way different than the pedestrian bridge for Bettendorf. Bettendorf is going to be a lot bigger, and it needs to be because of the situation, but I digress on that. This one's going to be across River Drive, so people can go from the park area to downtown, enjoy the restaurants, bars that are in the downtown area, the crossover, enjoy the river, walk down by the river, play pickleball. Apparently that's one I've heard about. So really cool development. It is a little bit of a controversy though, because some people think that the city shouldn't be spending money on that because down there in that area specifically, there is no flood wall. Davenport's the only city that doesn't have a technical flood wall to keep the floods out. As we saw just recently, we had a big storm, flash floods happen. Now it didn't necessarily flood the Mississippi, but we do see that happening. So people a little bit on the fence of this project. I think it'll be really nice when it's done. A lot of it was at the state level. They got a grant in order to do that, as well as other smaller grants that weren't the state. So a lot of it's being driven by that to make Iowa more of a touristy area, and Davenport is a part of that. So it's gonna be really cool. It is a lot of development going on. So check it out when it does come, because it is gonna be one of the bigger projects happening here in the near future. In fact, they're currently building it as we speak. So if you go downtown, you're gonna see a lot of construction.
Hello. I don't know what to say.
What's your name?
My name is Lex.
And you just moved here from Florida?
I just moved here from Florida,
Awesome.
yeah, and I started the Quad Cities People's Kitchen, which is qcpeopleskitchen.com.
Nice.
If people want to check that out.
Nice. What do you think of this area so far?
I love it. It's great. I mean, there's so much stuff to do. There's a lot of really beautiful nature that I've been finding and like rivers and stuff and plants. I don't know, it's been really awesome.
Absolutely. Well, go check out our kitchen if you're in the area. Heard great things just in the last 5 minutes, so yeah, I got some good stuff going. But
Cool,
yeah,
thank you.
thanks for
Great
stopping.
meeting
Nice to meet you too. Now, if we hop across the river into Rock Island, that is the next development that's happening / has happened. It's really close to being done. It's the Rock Island Downtown Revitalization Project. That's a hard word to say for me, apparently, but it has been going on for over a year now. They're in the final stages. What did they do? Well, they tore up all the streets in downtown and they have replaced it. They have the art alley down there. They have some nice venues going down there. It's a really cool project. In fact, they have what I believe is like a welcome arch that goes into Schrebert Park. So it's really been a long haul. Like I said, over a year of this project. I know a lot of the businesses down there were super happy with the flow of traffic. In fact, I wasn't too happy when I had to go down there. Several times I had to find parking in weird spots. It was a kind of a mess, but that is coming to an end because they're in the final stages of that revitalization project. So it's cool to see that. It was in desperate need of it happening. So I'm glad that they had decided to make that jump and make that move to make the Rock Island downtown a much nicer place and somewhere that people really, really want to go to. So that's a major project coming to an end here in the near future. So you're gonna want to check that out if you're living here, and if you're moving here, check it out anyway because it might be really cool to see what they have done down there. No matter where you decide to be here in the Quad Cities, I am here to help you out with any questions you might have. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Quad Cities. My number is popping up down below. Whether you want to be next to the Gateway Bridge or you want to be closer to downtown Rock Island, I can help you find that perfect place in order to find the best home for you and your family. So give me a call, send me a text. I am the one that answers all those phone calls, emails, and text messages. But what is the next project on this list? That next project is actually going over into East Moline. Yes, little old East Moline has been doing a lot in order to improve their town, and it's really been cool to see. The biggest thing was the Bend, which used to be a manufacturing facility. Case IH, I believe, was a factory that was there. That was before I moved here, but they have really developed that. They got hotels, they got the expo center, they have the Rust Belt down there, so it's really cool. But that's not actually the project I'm here to talk about. I'm more here to talk about the project of revitalization. Yes, I love that word. I have a hard time saying it, but they are trying to connect the Bend to the downtown so that they are co-synced, so that people that want to be in downtown can go to the Bend and vice versa and enjoy the amenities that East Moline has. And like I said, it has been really cool to see East Moline really step up their game when it comes to developing or investing in themselves, specifically around the Bend, because of all the stuff that's been going on and all the plans they have towards the future, as well as connecting their downtown, connect everything together. Really, really cool to see that many, many millions of dollars that have gone into that very cool project. Way to go, East Moline, on that, and I hope that they keep going because it's gonna be cool all the way into the future. Now, what about future projects? Well, one that has been talked about quite a lot, I-80 Bridge is going to be the next major project that's going to happen to this area. Why? Well, the bridge is old. Let's face it, it's old. It crosses the Mississippi around LeClaire area and it's ready to be replaced. Something they've been talking about for quite a few years and are still going to be talked about because they're not going to start construction until I believe 2028. At least that's the plan, but it's going to be a very long project once it does get started. I think I read something about like 4 years of construction. So that's tearing down the old one, putting up a new one. I know there was some talk about a Buffalo Bridge, which was a plan to put some buffaloes on the old bridge. And the last I heard about it was they're actually going to tear down the old bridge now because of where the new bridge is going. I don't know. But either way, it is a multi-million-dollar project. It's really good. Relatively just got done with the I-74 bridge, which was a huge success. If you ever were here during the old I-74 days, that bridge, absolutely horrible. If something happened on that bridge, it would be backed up all the way to Interstate 80, dang near. and we got rid of that. That one actually, he blew up and built the other one. But either way, that's an example of a very successful bridge project, whereas I-80 is in the works to become a very successful project. And I know they're also talking about the Centennial Bridge, which connects downtown Davenport to downtown Rock Island. So that's in the future, but they're not seriously talking about that one yet. It's more the focus on the I-80 bridge more than anything else. But that Centennial Bridge, like I said, it connects Rock Island to downtown, or Rock Island downtown to Davenport's downtown. And what's in Davenport's downtown? Well, that's actually a recently finished project, and that is the Figge Art Museum. Not the actual building itself, but the lighting system that was around it. It is really, really cool. You got to go there at night. It changes colors. It does all these crazy things, and that's actually a part of the original design in that Figge Art Museum, but they finally just got the money to put it in, because I think when they built that building, they ran out of money, and now they've got the finished product. So that's one of the projects that has been finished just recently, that has been going on for a little bit of time. But either way, a lot of developments happening, a lot of really cool things. Quad Cities, we're growing. It's really cool to see. And if you're thinking about making a move here or want to make a move around the area, my number is popping up down below. Give me a call, send me a text. I would love to help you and your family out when making that move. But if you just want to watch another video, check out this one right here.